What's up and welcome back. Today we have a lot to discuss. We got a Guerrilla Games Horizon Forbidden West update. We have a Naughty Dog update, a new patent for the PlayStation 5, and lastly, a rumor on a new Insomniac multiplayer game. Now let's get started with this Guerrilla Games Horizon Forbidden West article that comes from Video Games Chronicle, originally sourced from the PlayStation blog. Now, Bastian Ramisi, I believe that's how you pronounce that, told the PlayStation blog that the studio is aiming to deliver an equally engrossing experience on both platforms. In quotes, "We actually developed and tested the games simultaneously on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 because it's very important to us as a studio to ensure PlayStation 4 players get an equally immersive experience," he said. "With our knowledge from Horizon Zero Dawn, we knew that we still had some unexplored resources that could push the realism and quality of our character assets forward. It's great to now be able to tap into that knowledge and experience for the sequel." He added, "The most noticeable differences and improvements for Aloy in terms of technology is the push of facial and body capture accuracy, allowing more realistic shapes and surface details on characters, as well as the careful increase of polygon density to capture handmade and used outfits." So check this out. They're not saying that it's going to be like a massive difference in terms of like performance per se, right? So still going to run at a decent frame rate, good resolution. It's not going to be like, oh, you really got the watered down experience, but it's still going to give you a much better graphical fidelity experience on the PS5, more detail, better animations, all that good stuff. But it sounds like they really went out of their way to make sure that this game is built well around the PS4 and the PS5. It is common knowledge that this game started off as a PlayStation 4 game, so it only made its bridge to PS5 as soon as the PS5 became a reality, to be coming out closer than they, I guess, imagined originally when they started production of this game. So overall, I mean, if you're playing this on PS4, you're going to get a good experience. If you're playing this on PS5, you're going to get a good experience. Nonetheless, it's going to be a great experience in terms of performance and what their expectations are for players. Now, obviously, the PS5 is the definitive edition. There's no doubt about that. That's always going to be the case, but it just kind of is reassuring that the PS4 people are not going to be left behind. Next up, I want to talk to you guys about Naughty Dog, and basically in a blog post on the Naughty Dog website celebrating The Last of Us Day, the studio's senior manager of communications, Rochelle Snyder, confirmed that work was underway on multiplayer following fan requests and said it would be shown publicly when it's ready. In quotes, "We see the community comments as many of you clamor for multiplayer and want updates. For now, we'll say that we love what the team is developing, and I want to give them time to build out their ambitious project. We'll reveal more when it's ready. To that end, we've been busy growing our team inside the kennel since The Last of Us Part 2 launched and are currently in full swing of hiring for multiplayer-related positions. So if you or somebody you know qualifies for anything you see on the jobs page, apply." And this is pretty much as far as it goes in terms of an update. You know, the one shame is I wish Naughty Dog was a little more transparent. I guess some people are okay with the way they are, but if you're like excited for their games and you really want to know what's happening at Naughty Dog, it's hard to know what, if anything, is happening because we don't really know or get any, short tidbits of information up until their actual reveal. Now, a lot of people do actually like that because they're like, hey, I don't have to get this reveal super early on and we don't hear anything about it. But some other people do like those little tidbits of information along the road. Depends on who you are. You may feel a different way. Overall, I do think that they're probably doing something super major with The Last of Us IP when it comes to the multiplayer. And I'm sure in due time, probably late 2022 at best, we'll see something. It might even be a 2023 thing. Who knows? Now, next up, I want to talk to you guys about this new PlayStation patent, and it's looking like we might just get PS5 games on PS Now, and it's a article that originally comes from DualShockers.com, and it says, "The recently published Sony patent for ultra-high-speed, low-latency network storage reveals the ongoing work to enable streaming for PS5 games on PS Now. The patent is specifically about using multiple NVMe drives, the kind of storage drive used in the PS5, networked together for the purpose of streaming games." So this looks like a big, super hint that we're going to get PS5 games on PS Now. Obviously, that was something that we were expecting to happen eventually, but it did add a little bit of a tricky situation given these SSDs needing to be required and all this other stuff, and obviously higher speeds for internet and low latency network storages and all that stuff. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where they go with this. I think it was a given. We were going to see PS5 games on PS Now eventually. I do know that there's a shortage, an obvious shortage when it comes to parts and PS5s, and just in general, there's a shortage when it comes to electronic components. So it doesn't surprise me that this may take a little bit longer than we expect, but nonetheless, it's going to happen eventually. That's kind of a given at this point. Now, lastly, I want to talk to you guys about this pretty big rumor, and I don't know how true it is, but it comes from Nick over at Xbox Era. He discusses that there is an alleged impossible PS5 exclusive multiplayer Marvel game in the works. Nick speculates that it is Insomniac, but that is speculation. Additionally, his source told him to cut back due to it possibly linking back to the source. More context is in the podcast. Now, check this out, right? First of all, the one thing that throws me off is that a lot of us, as far as I knew, didn't know that they were working on a Wolverine game. Like, I did not see any source at all stating this prior to the release or the showing of the trailer. So for me, it's like, do we really know anything else that's going on behind the scenes there? Because we didn't really hear anything about that. Hell, we didn't hear about Spider-Man 2. We didn't hear about much of anything over at Insomniac Games. They got things locked down pretty tight. So what are the chances that we know about this? But then we look further into this and we know that, you know, Insomniac has a lot, and I mean a lot of people at their studio. They have more than 400 people at their studio, and they have 56 new job openings as well. It's pretty crazy when you think about it. These guys could be working on 3 games at once, and it seems like they are hiring for a multiplayer game given the context of these job postings. So it looks like there definitely is a multiplayer game in the works. But is it a Marvel game? That's the question. I mean, obviously, you know, they're doing really well with these Marvel IPs. People are super excited about this Wolverine game, Spider-Man 2. So are they dipping back into that again? Or are they maybe working on something a little bit separate from that? I think if Marvel continues to be working for them, they're likely going to continue doing that just because they are making banger after banger after banger. I mean, people loved Spider-Man. They loved Miles Morales. People seem to be stoked for this Wolverine game. And then obviously Spider-Man 2 is a given that there's going to be a lot of people excited about that as well. It's crazy. We got a lot going on at Insomniac. They're clearly very productive. They've got a lot of people there. And I really don't think that this is out of the realm of possibility, but it just throws me off because we never really heard anything about Wolverine or Spider-Man 2. So I just question what are the chances that we really know what's happening now over there. Take this one with major caution. I'm going to say take major caution, but it is a possibility. It's not out of the realm of possibility. But that's all I have for you guys in today's video. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of this Guerrilla update with Horizon Forbidden West? Talking about how it's going to be a great experience, whether you're on PS4 or PS5. Obviously, they're going to hype up their game that way, but it seems like that could really be the case, but time will tell when we see it. What do you think of this Naughty Dog update? Do you wish Naughty Dog was a little more transparent than they are nowadays, and even with the last 2 releases that they had? How do you feel about this new patent that could be looking at PS5 games on PS Now? And lastly, and the most importantly, what do you think of this rumor with Insomniac working on a Marvel multiplayer game? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you have not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified about all my upcoming videos, and hit the like button. It helps the channel a ton. You can follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Links will be in the description, and share this video with a friend. I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care.